name is Cecil Clarke, and I'm running for the Conservative Party of Canada in Sydney, Victoria. Well, one of the things that the Conservative government has done is moved away from where we had $25 billion clawed back from provincial transfers that the previous Liberal government has done, and increased transfers by 40% to the provinces because education is delivered at a provincial level. So that's one of the key things, was making sure the provinces were getting a fairer share of resources to be able to deliver within their jurisdictions for education. Now, there's many other things where you look at making sure that bursaries and scholarships are tax-free, making sure that there are other provisions. When you look that there's been doubling since the Conservatives came in the amount of Canadian bursaries and scholarships that were available. Last year I think it was up to 290,000 students that benefited from the top-ups that have been provided. So there's a number of things that are there when you deal with parents planning for children, for registered education savings plans, flexibility with interest rates associated with loans, and providing more mechanisms for students post-graduation to have the flexibility to get up and running and, more importantly, plan for their future. Well, I have a good track record here in Cape Breton. I was very pleased as Energy Minister to make sure that we see the Lingan initiatives for wind energy, to invest at the time in regional cooperation with tidal energy development, to be at the leading edge of the Lower Churchill. And one of the things that I'm concerned about is when we have a national Liberal leader that's suggesting that all the power should flow through Quebec and we don't have regional opportunity here through Lower Churchill and a subsea cable to Cape Breton. Because that's 100% green energy that can land here and create new opportunities for Cape Breton that allow us to utilize that energy, expand the capacity because the transmission infrastructure will be upgraded to bring on at least 600 megawatts more of renewable green energy through wind power here on the island of Cape Breton. Jobs that are created in not only construction but also the ongoing operations and maintenance. And we have an opportunity here with the landfall near New Waterford to look at how do we, as the most northerly continental point in North America that's connected, be able to utilize manufacturing opportunities from 100% green energy, whether that's smelting nickel from Labrador. These are things we have to develop. You have to have a business case. So I think when it comes to clean technologies and a green agenda, a lot of the foundation's been done, and it's about who can build on it best to deliver for Cape Bretoners. Well, one of the things, again, building on my experience at the provincial government level, going to providing for high-speed internet access throughout Nova Scotia so that we're totally connected, so that geography was not an impediment. How do we build on that? How do we make sure that we're investing in the innovation sector and for young entrepreneurs to be relevant and that they can actually compete globally from Cape Breton? Those are things that we've seen when you look at what InnovaCore has been doing provincially. How do we top that up federally? How do we look at innovation programs and dollars? We've had hundreds of millions of dollars that the opposition coalition has decided to vote against when young Cape Breton entrepreneurs could have been accessing that. We want to get back to Parliament, get those investments, recognizing when you look at the Youth Business Foundation, $20 million to help young entrepreneurs in business in places like Cape Breton that could access those funds to develop more opportunities and to articulate a business plan that puts Cape Breton in the picture within not only the national or regional, but in terms of a global economy. So there are many tools that are out there. The question is, do you have a member of Parliament that can work with young entrepreneurs in technology, in the research side, that'll draw those dollars here and make us more competitive? I believe that having a Conservative representative in Ottawa as part of the next government will help deliver that and make sure that Cape Bretoners are part of the equation rather than the outside looking in. Well, there's two aspects. There's family pressures with getting by and the like, and then we deal with the seniors here in Cape Breton, where there's a large demographic. The opposition chose to vote against increases to the guaranteed income supplement that would provide $600 more a year, $50 a month for a single senior, and $840 for couples that are seniors. That deals with the actual rising costs. Now, the most important social program that I as a Conservative believe is a job where people can contribute. And I told the Prime Minister my objective for Cape Breton is to re-establish a middle class so people can make the choices and go forward. But the opposition see fit to not want to invest in providing income splitting for families as we go to 2015 with a balanced budget. We have to make sure that we are providing jobs. Unlike the Liberals that wanted to overtax Canadians and add tax increases, how does that help a working family? It doesn't. It's counterproductive to actually having outcomes that work for Canadian families and Cape Breton families. So we have to level the playing field, and one of the ways we do that, again, is to have a social program which really is economic development and jobs that are created in many different facets. And in Cape Breton, it's not just a one industry town anymore. It has to be multifaceted from resource to technology, and that's important. So rather than overtaxing Cape Bretoners as the Liberals propose, we propose investing in job creation so that communities can deal with the pressures they're facing now. Cape Breton is growing in its competitive position. When you look at investments in the Port of Sydney, whether you dredge the harbour, the next steps to dredging the harbour is making sure that we have landside opportunities and investing in the expansion of the piers so that we can grow opportunities and as well, when we look at what the government has been doing in investing in the Atlantic on almost $1 billion, creating development opportunities in the face of Liberals that have voted against those investments. Liberals representing Cape Breton voting against investments in Cape Breton. One has to question where the priorities are if it's not the people or the politics. And so, yes, we have a high tax environment. In fact, the Conservatives have been lowering that tax and the Liberals want to keep increasing them. And that's not a way to get us out of that environment to create jobs for young people. What we have to do is grow a multidisciplinary approach, leveraging the types of investments that the Government of Canada has made, whether that's in the new Environmental Energy Centre at CBU, whether it's expanding the capacity to partner with the province, and leveraging the hundreds of millions that are in the federal budget and making sure a fair share of those dollars come to Cape Breton. That's how we're going to have young people engaged, that they see an opportunity for their future here at home. And I believe we need a voice in government, on the side of government, that understands. Having been a young person that left here myself to come back a decade later, I know what it's like to want to come back, and I know what the needs are to make sure people have opportunities for the future. Well, one of the things I would say to any young person is look at, if you can take the 30 seconds in a ballot box to make your mark, and it can change the next 30 years of your life, if it can make sure that the type of investments that a government's going to make is going to affect your future, that it is well worth making that mark. When you consider in this world today that people are dying with just the basic hope of being able to have democracy or some basic freedoms. My grandfather fought from Holland to Italy and back during the Second World War with the Cape Breton Highlanders, and he didn't do that for us not to be engaged. And you know, apathy is boring as the campaign is. Well, it's not responsible if you don't take charge. If you don't like what's happening, go out and vote. Be part of that. And I would ask young people to consider what an investment in having a government member is going to mean for their future. So I think there's a lot that we can be proud of as Cape Bretoners, but we do not want apathy to be something that is resonating. If you don't like it, make your mark and you can change the future.